just now Sunday. We've done the week of the 5 different lessons in what I thought was quite important for a beginner gardener or a gardener transitioning to a more cheaper, more environmentally friendly way of growing. So you know, you've got your 5 different aspects that I included in those 5 different videos. So one of the questions, just to kick us off, was from Tammy Mungin, and they're asking, I purchased a bag of compost with a load of white fungus, is this good or bad? So it really depends on the fungus. 9 times out of 10 it's good for soil life and the ecology of the soil. Even if mushrooms do grow, I wouldn't try eating them just in case, because some do look very similar to edible ones, but they're really not, and they can make you ill or worse, dead. So I just wouldn't risk it, and I'd just leave. If they do come up with little caps, I'd just leave them to drop their spores and spread to increase the soil life, but I wouldn't risk eating them. It is good because it shows that there's very low or no chemical fertilizers in the mix. As you can see here, if I bring that into the camera, this is a bit of fungi in the wood bark chip of the horse bedding, and that has made, it's making a beautiful compost. I've just turned it over now. There's about 2 square meters, cubic meters here, all in a big pile, and it's getting quite hot in the middle, and I turn it quite frequently. Yeah, most of the time fungus is good. You can see there's a bit of bacteria in there, like a bacterial colony, slightly different, but you know, depends. It could be a bacterial colony, in which case that's another good thing, because they can sometimes appear white. There's another one here, normally a bit more of a bluey tinge to them. So as you can see, that's just loads of bacteria, and it's got slight warmth to it. That's come out of the core, that has, whereas that is definitely fungal because that was on the edge. It's cool, it's on the chip. I'll leave that on the edge too for it to re-inoculate the patch. Next question has come from Wendy Honor, and she is asking anything to say about establishing a seedling area, seedling nursery in the garden would be great, Wendy. So it depends really on your site and where you're going to position it, preferably uphill more, so you're carrying full trays of plants downhill, hence why I've situated this one. Mostly, because most of my gardens are that way, so I've only got these few beds here that I'll be carrying uphill from, which isn't too bad of too big of a deal, because most of this will be either perennial or block planting, so it'll be direct sown anyway. You want everything quite close by for a seedling area, so if you're buying bags of compost, you want to situate them quite your storage area locally to the propagation space. It depends. If you're in a cold climate, I know you're in Tasmania, so you're probably going to want a shade house and possibly a glass house. If you're in a cold climate like I am, you're definitely going to want some sort of greenhouse or glass house. This one's got the added advantage of either pushing the bottom down to create more of a vented area, to allow a bit of airflow, because that's another thing you want, is airflow over your seedlings. You want water to be quite local or on hand, so I've got a tap there that I can use, or I will be putting a gutter across here and a water butt here, and then I can just have the tap poking through the wall, so I can just pull out straight in, and it makes life a bit easier. Again, if you're in a cold climate, you might want to consider a hotbed or heater mats, so you're going to need a plug or maybe you don't, you actually fight in the other way and you try to cool things down. So you'd want to have like a shade house or shade cloth over the top. In the northern hemisphere, I don't think you need much of a shade cloth really, especially cool to cold climate as we're in. You know, very temperate. We've had 32 degrees Celsius last week, and now we're rain back down to high teens, low 20s. So it fluctuates quite a lot in Britain, especially here in Wales. What else do I put? Yeah, you're going to want somewhere to put your seeds dry, ideally in the house or in a cabinet that has got some sort of drying agent, so like sawdust in the bottom. I don't know, I keep mine in the house just to keep them nice and dry. They last longer if they're kept dry at an ambient temperature, so not too much of peaks and troughs. You ideally want it to be nice and gradual in temperature. Around 18 degrees is perfect, but if you can't get that, mine are in the house, so they do fluctuate a bit. They're in the bottom, so it tends to be a bit slower fluctuating. Now I've got another question. What is a bottle greenhouse? So a bottle greenhouse is a greenhouse made out of bottles. In my case, it's also made from locally sourced timbers, just so that I could get the cost right down, because cutting these timbers myself would save a good price of money. The way timber is these days. There's some soaps or dishwasher or laundry detergents that are better than others when it comes to using that water in the garden. That means the grey water. Some I wouldn't even bother using, like bleach. That's just, well, bleach is designed to kill germs, bacteria. So if you pour it in your garden, you're going to be killing the soil life. So I think if you're using that sort of stuff, let that go, be treated properly and not left to go through your own patch. There are some sort of detergents and stuff that are like environmentally friendly, or they're done from natural ingredients, so that you want to maybe aim towards them if you are definitely using all your grey water. We don't use any of our grey water purely because it's, you know, I don't know what's in it, I don't trust anything, so I'm happy using my green water, as I call it, which is just the water from washing the veg, because you know all that's in that water is veg peelings, scrapings and the soil, so you're just taking the soil back to where it's come from. Yeah, that's all I've got about that. And now on to the final question. So this last question has come from Eve Richard, and they're asking, thank you for your information. I am learning a lot, especially with your concept of self-sufficiency. One question, how do you save seeds from onions? When they bloom, there's the flower, but after that they die off and I can't get the seed. So I haven't got any onions flowering this year, but I've got this stunning leek flower, which is developing. And what you need to do is you need to cut the heads off when the stalks are just about going brown. These like stalks here, you don't want to leave them too long, otherwise the seeds start to drop. And then you want to put like a paper bag over this, or any sort of bag that's breathable. If you've got like a compostable food bag, food waste bag, anything like that. Yeah, cut the flowers heads off after they've flowered when the stalks are brown, and you can just start to see greenish, brownish seeds in the head. So you're talking late towards the season. For us in the UK, that would be about September, October time. I'd be cutting the heads off. So you don't want to rush into it. You know, you want to make sure that the seed has developed, because immature seed won't germinate at all. But then you've also got the other thing of overripe seed falls to the floor and doesn't grow where you need it to. or you could just leave it, drop the seeds where you want, and then you've just got onions there next year. They self-sow, and then you just move them to where you want, or leave them grow where they are. So that's it for today's video, Sunday video. There won't be a video tomorrow. There'll be one back to normal schedule Monday next week. Don't know off the top of my head what the date is. I'll put it on screen. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.